Hello everyone, Ace here, and today we'll be having a quick chat regarding the NBA 2K20 My Team trailer. This thing came up fairly recently on the 2K UK YouTube channel, and the reaction to it has been extremely negative, and for reasons that are quite obvious, as this is a trailer about the loot boxes and microtransaction mechanics within the game, some of which are even designed in a way to specifically resemble roulette wheels and slot machines. So as I've said, it's perfectly obvious why this trailer for this game that costs $60 at base is so widely hated. It's so ridiculous and outrageous, in fact, that I think now's a good time to put on our tinfoil hats and engage in some speculation. Because with all of this attention, and even the possibility of outright regulation in the near future for loot boxes, I have to wonder if the developers actually intentionally tried to get as much attention as possible to get them regulated, or at the very least discourage the publishers from putting them into their game. It's easy to forget that most devs themselves are also gamers at heart, and so it's quite understandable to see that there would be some that would be rather unhappy with publishers that are forcing them to add these microtransactions into their game, even though it actively hurts the gaming experience for all involved. Let's be honest here, it wouldn't exactly be the first case of game developers deciding to mock the microtransaction systems that their publishers have forced upon them. Back in 2017, for example, the developers behind Shadow of War, the legendary studio of Monolith Productions, decided to mock their publisher Warner Brothers and the microtransactions that they had forced upon their game. They did this by making the orc in the microtransaction screen constantly rub his hands greedily. However, the social justice community had decided that this was far too close to a caricature of a certain group of people, and as such decided that this animation was simply far too politically incorrect. And as such, Monolith was forced to change the animation in the final release. Later on, once the game had finally run its course, Shadow of War had seen its microtransactions removed. Now again, what I have to say here is based around pure speculation, at least on the part of NBA 2K20 specifically. But it does seem quite possible that the developers have designed the microtransactions in such a way as to provoke a reaction to get them removed, or to at the very least make it that much harder for the video game industry to distance loot boxes from gambling. But even if that isn't exactly the intention of the developers themselves, I am at least going to be bold enough to say that it is fairly certain that this trailer is going to make loot boxes even more indefensible than they already are. I could easily see, for example, the ESA being all the more desperate in their efforts to squirm their way out of regulation on this one. And while I'm not exactly a fan of the US government stepping in, I do think it would be perhaps wise to change the ESRB rating systems, as well as other rating systems, to reflect when a game includes loot boxes. I think having a bare minimum of an M rating for having loot boxes is perfectly fair and reasonable. But what do you guys think? Am I perhaps onto something to suggest that the developers themselves have had enough of loot boxes? By all means, feel free to leave your comments below. In any case, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.